Hey party people, welcome to Thrive with Crystal. So if you are new to this page and you're just scrolling by, say hey to me. Let me know you're hanging out. You know I love that. Let me know where you're from. And if you haven't already, please stop and follow or like the page. Feel free to share it with your friends if you like things that are natural, things that are natural ways to take care of your body and pretty easy. And so if you like to take control of your body and your health, this is the place for you. So hang out with me. Today, we're going to talk about it's only been about 6 days for me so far of a sugar detox, cold turkey. And we're going to talk about some things that happened and things that I didn't expect. And then we're going to talk about grabbing things in your pantry and reading those labels to find all those hidden sugars that we didn't realize were there. So let me hang out and share this with a couple people. There you go. Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, so if you don't know who I am already, I'm Crystal Mason Cup. I actually run another group, a VIP group, Crystal Clear Oilers, and many of you know me from there. This page in particular is more going to be focused on that natural way to take care of your body in many areas. And so not just the oily goodness that you're used to. There's been a lot of things on my heart, and autoimmune, you know I have autoimmune. You know there's struggles with flare-ups, there's struggles with, even if you eat all the right things still pop up. So we're gonna dive in and talk about all the things that pop up and happen and maybe why they're happening, because I actually found a couple things this week. Okay, so do you want to kiss, buddy? Come kiss me real quick, and then you gotta go back out. No. Do you see this? They're gonna see you. They're gonna see you. So I have little ones all over the house, so it's gonna be super loud, and that's okay, right? That's called mom life. Max. Hey. Okay, so really quickly, we're gonna talk about what the average American, how much sugar the average American eats in the US. And on average, the American intake is 67.7 grams of sugar. That is a lot per day. I just want to give you a, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of him in a minute. Hey baby, I'm gonna have to take care of you in a minute, okay? That is a lot of sugar, because I actually looked at a video and it was like a Coke, and people were taking teaspoons of the Coke, of sugar, based on how many teaspoons are in the Coke, and they put it in a cup, so they just kept going and kept going and kept going. I was like so blown away by how many it was in there. So it was like 5 grams is like 16 teaspoons in one soda. That is a lot of sugar. That was my first like little popping in my mind of awareness of how much sugar is in one thing. So a lot of times that's what we do. We drink our sugar. But then after that, I still would eat things and drink soda sometimes and do sugar, but I started to flare up a lot. So the autoimmune issues, I am gluten and dairy free. That went really great for a long time, but then my shoulders would start hurting and my hips would start hurting and my eczema stuff would come back, and all of these things started kind of rearing their heads. So I had to take another look at what was going on and where else I could tweak, because medicine for me is just not an option, okay? And so if you're in that realm of not wanting to have to take a medicine for your daily routine, then this is totally you. I like to take the holistic approach. Anything I can possibly do to eliminate the medicines is going to be a yay in my column. And so if I have to get rid of certain foods, I will. And this is something that I've heard a lot of times. And so maybe you're still in this, because I remember the day I said it, that I would never give up bread and cheese. Like, that is my absolute favorite food, guys. So in the new earth, you know, I'm gonna be eating some bread and cheese, pizza, all the goodness, fondue. Oh my gosh, favorite restaurant is Melting Pot. but not for 4.5 years now. It hasn't been, and my body has thanked me for that. So when it comes to sugar, I can then choose if this is going to cause pain and cause problems. I can choose to take a pill that may help and hide those symptoms, but it won't cure the problem, right? Because ultimately the problem is what we're putting in is causing some type of reaction in our body. And so this is just me a quick crash course, okay? So this is already going a little bit longer than I wanted because I want it to be really short. But I want Google this or YouTube it, like how many teaspoons of sugar are in a Coke, and watch that video on YouTube because it is mind-blowing. If you have not watched that, if you haven't watched Food Inc. or there's some other shows like Super Size Me, they're really great shows for awareness, and I feel like it takes like 7 to 8 times of hearing this stuff before it really set. For me, it did anyways. And then I was paying attention, starting to labels. And I eat a lot of mustard. I love mustard. I have German ancestry. Like, it just is in my blood, I think. And so I love mustard. And for the most part, I just grab the mustard because I know mustard is typically like turmeric and mustard seed and vinegar and water all ground up into a little condiment. And it's a fairly healthy condiment. And I love spicy brown mustard. I actually love, I'm going to be grabbing all kinds of things. I put a whole plethora of items over there. I love the whole seed mustard, so like the whole grain mustards. And as I was looking through all my products this last week as I went through, I'm getting rid of all sugar. So anything added, that means I can have fruit and I can have vegetables and I can have anything that's already in a food. And it's whole, so I'm getting the fiber along with it and all the nutrients and all the macros that I need. But if it is added, like honey, maple syrup, which are things that we already had transitioned to, then I'm not eating that at all. That means I had to go through my cupboards and pay attention to every single thing that was coming in. During this process, you can expect headaches, fatigue, brain fog, a little bit of grouchiness, and then that will pass, and the energy and the clarity will start to come, clarity in the skin, clarity overall, and you'll start to feel amazing, and you'll start to wonder, why did you do this to your body? So in this past week, I'm just going to give you an idea. I limited my sugars, 0 intake of added sugars, and that means I have not eaten in this past 6 days 3 pounds of sugar that I would have eaten. 3 pounds of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. When I'm a person that says, I don't eat a lot of sugar, but you look at everything and then you find out what it is. So let's pay attention. Here's mustard, for instance. This is just a really nice German brand, probably got it at Lidl. And I looked at it when I glanced at it and I was like, oh, it just has a little bit of sugar, but no high fructose corn syrup, no weird things. It has white wine, mustard seed, distilled vinegar, and water, and some salt. But it had sugar, so I have to come up here and look, but total grams of sugar was 0. So it says it's in here as 0, but it is added, and that means it is added, and then I cannot have it. So even though it's 0, I don't want that, because every single time I introduce sugar into my body, it's going to wreak havoc or cause my cells to react in some way. We have the little beta cells in our pancreas and our insulin that says, hey, what do we need to fight today? And we don't want our insulin to have to fight to process that sugar. Okay, I don't eat dairy. I was going through my whole fridge, and palmetto cheese, my husband loves this from Costco, and it's Polly's Island, local. He loves it, the one with jalapenos in it. And I was reading it. It has cheese. That's good. It should have that as a main ingredient, right? But then inside the cheese, it has like potato starch and cellulose, and then it has mayonnaise, and it has whole eggs, soybean oil, vinegar, salt, and sugar. So inside the mayonnaise, there's sugar. Gotta watch for that. And then inside of the jalapenos, the pimentos and jalapenos, and this was a little one that I didn't expect. It has onion, maltodextrin, and cultured dextrose. Anything with ose is sugar. So those are tricky ones that we probably would not recognize, but it's still in here. And then when you look at the added sugars, it says it's only 1 gram. total sugars, total added sugars is 0, but it still had, it says on the ingredients, sugar. So this is just giving you a tiny bit of what our FDA, like the Food and Drug Administration, and the USDA, they don't have to tell us every single thing that's in here if it's under a certain percentage. That's concerning to me as a mom. I want to pay attention to that stuff. Okay, here's one of my favorite ingredients. I love taco night. You guys, tacos are like my jam. I love every kind of taco. And this has, it's just original street taco sauce. I love the brand Herdez. Usually it doesn't have but 5 ingredients, like 3 to 5 ingredients. And that includes tomatoes and jalapenos and onions and things, right? So salt, super simple ingredients. Now this did not have that. When I didn't read it because I just trusted it, right? I should not have, but it's better than most, but it does have an added sugar. The total sugars is 1 gram. And like what I'm looking at is, I've been doing this a while and I've already been paying attention, right? So when I look at it, I'm not going to be grabbing things that are 26 grams of sugar because I am trying to be so aware already. We know sugar, jelly is just sugar. Like the first ingredient on here is sugar. It's not fruit, it's sugar. And then we have the lemon juice, fruit concentrate, and then pectin and natural flavor. And strawberries, of course, because Max loves, actually he loves grape strawberry. My other kids love this grape jelly, and he loves, they love the strawberry. Couldn't get it out. So this is a little bit less than the ones over the counter that would say high fructose corn syrup, or they might have something else in here, or even natural jellies, because this is a spread. The jellies, I can't seem to find one that has very little sugar, and this one had the least amount. So 11 grams added sugar, 10 grams added, 11 total. You can see that like we're going through, and it's just about awareness and finding the different sugars that could be added in different weird names, maybe. There are 61 names of different sugars. I could go into those, but I also have a little PDF that if you need it, we can email it to you. So message me if you want it. Balsamic vinegar. This is not that bad, except what happened. I thought this was a more natural one. It's a homestyle creamy balsamic. It's tasty. The second ingredient is honey. We don't want sugar to be our second ingredient. So that's super, I didn't expect that. And as a matter of fact, I think this one, I'll just blame it on Neil. Neil's been eating this one. Balsamic vinegar, honey, garlic puree. I'm trying to see if there are any other sugars in here. No, there aren't any. Oh, yes, there is. There's grape juice. So that's 2 different types of sugars in this dressing. Here's one. It's another taco sauce because we like tacos. And this is a Taco Bell sauce because my kids like this Taco Bell sauce. And it does have sugar in it. It has modified food starch, which a lot of times comes from wheat, but they don't tell us. And that's a no-no in our family. So this won't be opened. And then we have, let's see, onion puree. So it's not bad. No sugars added. It says less than 1 sugar, so that would be total from the tomato, probably. And I'm going to share one tiny secret, 2 things actually. If you want to save money and you have an Instant Pot, you could totally do beans. But if you have beans, if you have an Instant Pot, beans can be your best friend because they can be cooked very quickly, dry beans, and there's nothing added to them. So you get all the nutrients and all the fiber without all the weird stuff that's added to them. Because these 2 things, like these canned items, can be super duper tricky. So if I have told you one thing today, the hidden things of going through a sugar detox that you would not expect, right? So you're gonna grab your foods, you want black beans and you want corn, and you're gonna make some black bean corn salad, whatever you wanna make, a little bit of vinegar in there. You have to read the labels, because every time I go to the store, we don't buy a lot of canned foods, but I'm a mom of 4, sometimes it's fast, and so this is what I'll grab. the black beans, or if I'm making chili, I like to make my own black beans for it. But if we're buying the red pinto beans or the light pinto beans, cannellini beans, whatever it is, if you are just going out and buying it and you don't look at that label, 90% of the beans on the shelf that are canned have sugar. It'll be the second ingredient. We see beans, sugar, water, salt. Beans, sugar, water, salt. Beans, high fructose corn syrup, salt, water, salt. That should never be in our beans, and I feel like that is a detriment to our populations that are underprivileged and not maybe aware, or socioeconomically they just can't. They have to be aware of the cost and not anything else. Why is the cheapest? Those are always the cheapest ones. The cheapest canned goods have all the packed sugar in it, and it's because those companies know two things. They know that if it's sweet, they're gonna buy it again, okay? And so they're gonna buy it and buy it and buy it, and they're not gonna pay attention. And that same socioeconomic group is packed full of disease, heart disease, diabetes, fatigue, autoimmune disease, all of it, right? And they feel like they can't do anything about it except take pills and medicine. But if we start paying attention to labels, we can start making wiser choices, and then hopefully starting to get rid of the dis-ease and helping our body feel better and start to heal. The sugars that are in the canned goods, it's the same with the vegetables. Usually it should just be corn and water, and maybe corn, water, and salt. Hey, buddy. But too many times I go to the store for simply corn or simply beans, and I look at all of the different cans, and I can pick from one to the next. And the first one will have sugar, and I have to hunt for the ones that don't have sugar. And I can't even tell you a brand because I feel like they change it, and it's so difficult. The Libby so far, there's this one, and the Bush's Best Beans. I can't tell you Bush's Best Beans because I went this past week looking for certain beans just for this type of video, and almost every single one had the sugar in it. So you gotta be really super aware. All right, so things when you're doing a sugar detox, I dropped some to think about. Pay attention to labels. Think about that. If you think I don't eat any sugar, but you're eating crackers, any type of processed flours, processed foods are packed full of sugar. And if we're just paying attention to sugar and that's it, then you can look at the sugar grams. If you're looking at carbs in general, then you would actually subtract any type of fiber. So you can see here it says total sugars 1, dietary fiber 1. You would subtract that from the sugars, from the carbs, and dietary fibers is 9. Carbs is 9, dietary fibers is 1. So you can subtract 1 and it would be 8. And so it still have a lot of carbs, but you could subtract 1 because the fiber's in there. You can't do that if you have so much sugar packed in there. That's it, guys. So this is just a really we're going 30 days here. I don't know how wise it was to do around Halloween. But we don't want sugar, because every time our kids, we have Halloween and sugar holidays, they get sick after. I don't want them to get sick. I want them to be healthy and strong. That's based on choices, huh? So silly. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by Thrive with Crystal. Put hashtag replay down below if you want to, or just say hey to me. And then if you want to come back, hit follow, notifications, put them on, and let us hang out some more. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.